What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy. Welcome back to the Savvy Show. And first and foremost, I hope you guys are all having a good day. And if you guys happen to be in school and you guys are on break right now, hope you guys enjoy with a lot of family and friends. Live it up while you can, because it's going to be a good time. It's that time of the year, so it has to be, right? And for me, I'm excited today because this one looks pretty juicy. I'm telling you, man, I have a good feeling about this one. It's DrBob. It's Friday, so you already know it's got to be spicy. So with that being said, this is SCP-2678. A city all of blood. So come on, I mean, gotta be juicy. Hopefully it's I don't think it's gonna be gory. That'd be cool if it is, but I have no idea what to expect, and those are usually the good ones for me, so I'm really excited for this one. And if you guys do enjoy this reaction along the way, please let me know by smashing that like button. You guys already know the vibe. I know some of you guys watch this and you forget to like it, but if you guys take that second to like it, it really goes a long way. And also, if you take the time to sub too, because most of you guys might be seeing this on the recommendation side of YouTube, subbing will help the channel and the content get pushed out to more eyes that might want to see my videos. So it would be awesome if you could help, because you know, it's that time of the year. It is the season, right? So so with that all out the way, don't want to waste any more time. Let's get this show started. Alrighty, SCP-2678, a city all of blood. Let's go.
The single, piercing, high-pitched note echoes through the cathedral. It hangs in the air as the boy sustains it for far longer than his small lungs should be capable of.
Okay.
The boy is the star of the choir and is well known throughout his city and even beyond. And people come from far and wide for the chance to hear his perfect soprano voice.
They're wearing Gryffindor colors.
But on this night, there are only a few people scattered amongst the many rows of pews to listen to the choir as it practices. And for good reason. While the boy's lauded voice is as sweet and powerful sounding as ever, the choir itself is at its lowest point in recent memory. This nadir has occurred because many of the other boys who used to sing in the choir have vanished.
Missing? Well, that was in a different language. I'm assuming that word was missing. If you guys know what language that is, let me know in the comment section below.
The choir finishes its song, "That's all for tonight," and the boys begin to put on their coats and gather their things from underneath their chairs. The boy with the perfect voice feels something on his shoulder and spins around with affright to see that it is just the hand of the priest, who is also the conductor of the choir.
Old head.
The priest is an old man with a deeply wrinkled yet kind face, and he reminds the boy that he is to head straight home. The boy promises the priest that he will go directly to his house, and the priest reassuringly pats the boy on the shoulder before walking away to give the same advice to each of the other boys.
Okay.
The boy steps out into the dark, cold night as the heavy cathedral doors shut behind him.
No umbrella?
It's softly raining, and he pulls his coat shut to try to keep out the damp and cold. As the boy begins to walk, he takes note of the closed newsstand across the street.
What
The
language
day's
is
papers
this?
are still hanging outside and tell of yet another boy who has gone missing. This one from the next town over. There are still no leads in the cases, and parents have been growing angry with the police over the lack of any progress. As the boy walks down the darkened street, he fails to notice the shadowy figure that has stepped out of a dark alley near the
Someone's
cathedral.
lurking.
But soon, he hears the sound of feet on the wet sidewalk behind him. He glances over his shoulder and sees that the figure is walking the same direction as him. The boy looks back straight ahead, not wanting to draw any more attention to himself, and tries to increase his pace.
Oh, God.
As the boy walks, his well-trained ears quickly detect that whoever is walking behind him has sped up as well. The boy doesn't run, but he feels a surge of real fear begin to rise inside of him.
Across the street.
The boy
or
picks up his
something.
pace even more, and again hears the person behind him increase theirs.
Bro, okay, if this has happened to me, I'll cross the street, and if he crosses, that's when I'm booking. Like, there's no way I'm gonna just act like, oh, it's nothing too crazy. I hope nothing happens to me. Like, come on now. You better put a little pep in your step, bro. Come on.
The boy is walking so fast now that if he went any faster, he'd have to break into a run. His house isn't far, though.
Wow, pink
He
one?
turns a corner, and he can see it. A quaint little home with warm light pouring out through the windows. He knows that inside his mother will be standing in the kitchen cooking dinner.
Bro.
He knows that inside is protection from the night and shadows. The boy looks behind him and sees the figure round the same corner. The boy can't wait any longer, and he starts to run. And he sees over his shoulder that the figure has begun to run as well.
Oh, my God. Thank
The boy
you.
is sprinting as fast as he can, his feet kicking up water from the sidewalk. He can hear the figure getting closer and closer to him, their long legs outpacing
Don't trip,
his own
man.
with ease. He's so close to his house, though. He's so close to being dry and warm and safe.
Scream or something.
He slides to a stop on the damp stones in front of the door and reaches out for the handle. Inside the warm little house, the woman cooking dinner is startled by the sound of the door suddenly bursting open. She turns to see an empty doorway. She steps out into the street, but it too is empty.
Damn.
Nothing present but the sound of the wind.
Got him at the
and
last
the
second.
almost imperceptible sound of a single note being sung. A beautiful, high-pitched note. What happened to the boy who was once the shining star of the cathedral's choir?
Is it the
And
priest?
what of the other missing boys? Where did they all go? Perhaps they went to SCP-2678, a mysterious spatial anomaly that is also known as a city all of blood. SCP-2678 is an extra-dimensional space that so far is known to be accessible through exactly one entrance, a door in the basement of the Siena Cathedral in Siena, Italy. Strangely, the extra-dimensional location behind the door is only able to be entered by individuals who hold what could be termed traditionally Catholic beliefs. Perhaps even stranger, though, is that when it was first discovered, the door to the space was barred, and a metal placard had been placed next to it that read, SCP Foundation Department of Abnormalities. This might not...
Yo, this is... Okay, this has got to be a good one. I was not expecting this SCP to be in this. What the heck? I made a reaction to that SCP on the channel, so guys check that out if you guys don't know what that is, because I don't want to, spoil anything for you guys, but dude, check that out, because this one got to be good if this is in it.
Not sound especially odd, but it came as quite a surprise to the agents investigating it, as there is no record of there ever having existed a Department of Abnormalities within the SCP Foundation.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Other than SCP-3790, of course, which is another padlocked room bearing a similar sign. But that file has been locked by the O5 Council, and we will have to save our exploration of that for another time. Back to SCP-2678. Individuals who have Catholic beliefs that enter the SCP-2678 space find that they emerge into a small, tent-like structure that appears to be a sort of forward operating base that has been built around the freestanding doorway. The outpost is abandoned, but there still remains a number of strange objects, including a biomedical laboratory-grade refrigerator containing numerous samples of blood and bone, various types of audio recorders, ranging from old wax strip models to magnetic tape machines, and a computer terminal which, when activated, requests Foundation credentials. However, all attempts to access this computer have been met with failure, as it has rejected all attempts for reasons of insufficient clearance.
Because this room is not supposed to exist. It's classified, so everyone that's probably working now probably doesn't have authorization.
Also found inside the outpost was the score for a previously unknown choral prelude titled Sul Golgotha, which when translated from Italian means on Golgotha,
oh, it's Italian.
With Golgotha being the name of the hill that Jesus Christ was crucified on, according to the Bible. The last object found in the tent was a skeleton, though several bones were missing, including the hip bone and both forearms. Further examination of the skeleton revealed it to have belonged to a young male, though the exact cause of death was unable to be determined, nor was it clear whether the bones had been removed before or after the young man expired. Upon exiting the outpost, visitors to SCP-2678 will find that they are on the outskirts of a gigantic city that is floating in the middle of a red-orange void.
What?
The city is truly massive, having been measured at being over 300 square kilometers in size, and consisting entirely of cathedrals, palaces, and churches, all of which are in the Italian Gothic style of architecture.
Is there rain and blood?
A never-ending rain of a red liquid that was found to be human blood falls on the city at all times and has stained the buildings a deep red color. And while they appear at first glance to be made of marble, analysis has found that all the buildings are actually constructed of human bone. Specifically, bones belonging to human males aged 7 to 12.
What?
Later.
So the person that's actually taking these kids are probably some kind of construction workers for this weird dimension where they help make more cathedrals and castles and shit. What the heck?
Tests of the material found within the forward outpost's biomedical refrigerator revealed the stored blood and bones to be samples taken from throughout the city. No life has ever been observed within SCP-2678, though visitors have reported hearing a high-pitched, discordant melody that seems to come from somewhere deep within the maze of structures. All attempts to record the sound have failed, as all audio equipment malfunctions when within the space, and playback of recordings results in them having only picked up the sound of the blood rain falling at a very high volume. This explains the various types of audio equipment found in the forward outpost, which were likely used in unsuccessful attempts to record the music. Attempts to trace the source of the melody through the labyrinth-like city will inevitably lead to the same building, which is an exact replica of the same Siena Cathedral that the entrance to SCP-2678 is located in, though it too is made of bone and has been stained red from the falling blood. And while the outside of the cathedral perfectly matches its real-world counterpart, the inside is a different story. Inside the cathedral, one will find only a single, large pipe organ. The pipe organ has had its longest pipes, the ones that produce the lowest notes, cut in half, and the corresponding pedal boards torn out. Pressing a key on the organ will produce a note that mimics an adolescent male's voice, and each key has its own unique voice.
Yo, okay. Theory. What if those keys are actual bones of the victims? And when you touch one key, which is, belonged to one kid that got kidnapped, the sound that they actually hear is that kid singing. And that's why they're all choir boys, because they need these melodies for this piano. Bruh.
Just like with a normal pipe organ, a note can be sustained for as long as the key is pressed down, though after a time, the voice emanating from the organ will seem to take on a panic tone.
It's messed up.
Attempts to determine just how the organ produces the notes have been met with failure, as the organ does not have a wind box, bellows, or blower of any kind, which would normally move air through the pipes. The organ has another effect within SCP-2678 besides just producing sounds, though, as whenever a note is played, the rain falling outside will transform into regular water. No matter how long the note is held, and the now regular clear rain falls, though, the buildings will never be washed and always continue to be stained red.
Yeah, makes sense.
Tests were performed on the organ in order to determine just how long it could sustain a single note, and the C7 key was pressed for over 20 minutes, during which time the voice continued to sing out, becoming more and more stressed and panicked sounding as time went on. Finally, at the 23-minute mark, the key itself splintered into pieces, permanently removing the ability to produce that note. The splintered remains of the key were also observed to bleed for several days following this test. Expeditions sent into SCP-2678 have resulted in agents appearing to undergo a number of behavioral changes that, at present, are hypothesized to come as a result of hearing the organ music within. The psychological changes have included an increased appreciation for choir music, an ever stronger belief in structured religion, more trust in authority figures, less trust in those coming from a lower social or economic status,
Yeah, you guys get
and a reluctance to report crimes committed by fellow members of the SCP Foundation. These changes appear to be permanent as well, as there has been no evidence of them fading with time. Unfortunately, little to no progress has been made in understanding the mysterious and unnerving space, nor what the presence of a Department of Abnormalities forward operating base inside could mean. And so, for the time being, all further explorations within have been cancelled. The doorway in the basement of the Siena Cathedral has once again been barred, with the entrance hidden behind a bookshelf, and the ease with which the extra-dimensional location can be contained by the Foundation has resulted in it being given the safe classification. What do you think SCP-2678 actually is?
Oh my
Who built
God.
the strange city of blood and bone?
There's so many
if
questions
it was
I
built
have.
by a person at all. Let me know your theory in the comments, and then go check out SCP-783, There Was a Crooked Man, for another anomaly that involves a terrifying dimension easily accessed from our own. And make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single anomaly as we delve
DrBob.
further and further into the SCP Foundation's classified archives.
That's it?
The single...
Okay, yo. A lot of stuff has not been answered with this animation. I'm assuming maybe that's just how it is, even in the file. Most of the stuff is left in mystery. I'm assuming my theory is, those keys are actually bones or essence of the victims that have been kidnapped. And the question that I have is, who's the person that is kidnapping the kids? And how is he getting back the spatial plane that is this SCP? That's what I want to know. That's what I really wanted to figure out. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the piano itself and the voice that comes out of it. And also, what do you guys think about how when the note is being played, rain stops, the blood of rain stops, and it's regular rain? What do you guys think about that? Can't really grasp that concept or how that will correlate with maybe the fallen victims that are singing. This one is a complete mystery to me, but this one was a really, really cool animation. I really enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed it as well too, let me know in the comment section below, and also smash that sub button and hit that bell so you don't miss an upload. And now, unfortunately, that concludes today's episode. However, I'll catch you guys on the next one.